everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's episode where we have the Joy Knight joining us. Joy is a longtime team member of the sales team. 8 years now?
Yeah, going on 8 years now.
8 years now. Woo, I love that.
No, it's crazy. It's been wild. It's gone by really fast too, actually.
Do you feel like it's gone by?
Yes, yeah. We've gone through a couple different markets, I feel like, too. So that makes
Yes.
it feel like it's gone by a lot faster.
Well, let's talk about that, the couple of different markets. I mean, here's the thing, guys. If you are hiring an agent, let's say you're a buyer,
Mhm.
what would you as a buyer look for in an agent? Because experience. Okay.
Every time. I think experience and somebody, just for me, somebody that's able to kind of walk me through the process, because I'm, a little forgetful sometimes, or I have, a bunch of children, and that kind of takes, it can be a little bit distracting. So to have somebody that can walk you through it and knows what they're talking about when they're walking you through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think things are going to get very interesting over the next 6 months, right? Do you agree with that?
I think so too.
Yes. And so having a buyer's agent or a listing agent who's been through several different markets, pretty important.
Yeah, I think so. And because especially right now, it kind of feels like we're not really sure what to expect. And so if we have experience with kind of multiple different things, then whatever happens, then we'll kind of be somewhat prepared, once it does happen.
Yeah, it's impossible. Anyone who's telling you what is going to happen in the market for the next 6 months, they're smoking something, because there's no way, no one knows for sure. There are so many. I listened to several podcasts, several experts, and the thing is some of them have different opinions as to what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's no crystal ball. I mean, if there was, then
we'd all be so wealthy. Absolutely, absolutely.
So, and it's good to hear all the different opinions and stuff, just to kind of see what's going on in the world. But yeah, you don't know.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the markets. So you've been doing this long enough that you were around when the market was just completely normal and stable, right? And then you were around 4 years ago. Can you believe it's been 4 years since COVID?
No, it's crazy.
That seems crazy, right? And during COVID, you would receive 5, 6, 7 offers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy. I would get to a house, show a house, get ready to make an offer on it, and it would be sold already. Like, it was just insane. So,
right?
Yeah, lots of showings.
During these processes, we pick up all of these little skill sets on how to not beat the system, but how to beat the system.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to know how to approach it, and how to approach the market, and how to approach every single seller and every single buyer. It's going to be different every time.
Yeah. So there's that insurance commercial that I love, and it's like, I know a few things because I've seen a few things, right? So I've
seen a few things.
I feel like that would fit in. So and right now we feel like the market, what we're calling it, is stable. It's not crushing it. We're not getting multiple offers, but also sellers are not having to sell significantly below market value if they price their home correctly in the beginning.
Right. Yeah, that's the trick.
Yes. Yeah. But one of the reasons I wanted you to come on today is you are the repair whisperer. I knew I was going to have trouble. Jill's like, she butchered that. She is the repair whisperer. That's a little better version of it. So basically what I mean by that is, Joy, you have gotten some deals to go to closing that I would have never tried.
Yeah. It's just kind of looking at it at all angles, and knowing that most of the time a client is going to be willing to do what they need to do to get the deal done. Okay. And so you're just there to kind of provide them the options for that to happen.
I love that. That is so smart. Jill's giving her some snaps too. I love it. I love it. And so really, guys, what we're talking about right now is even though inventory is not at a historical low like it was 6 months ago, there are properties out there. But what we're seeing is that if they're under the 250, 200 range, they need some love. They need a little love.
Yeah. Well, I think just with prices and the way everything has been the last several years, that it maybe has overwhelmed a lot of sellers, and they've just kind of put stuff off to the wayside, and it's kind of normal stuff. I feel like not a lot of it's not anything too crazy, but
give us an example of some of the things you've recently been working through.
So recently, even just little things like when your smoke detector is ding ding ding, you know, and it starts to get annoying.
Chirping.
So you just get to the point where you just rip it off the wall.
Yes.
And then you forget to put it back. Like stuff like that, literally that small. And even just, you know, you put that smoke detector somewhere and then you lose it. And then you have to go buy. So little things like that, all the way up to kind of like settlement cracks, stuff like that. So it is all over the place.
All over the place. And I recently saw one where it was wood rot on the door trim, a threshold on the floor, missing light switches, the plate covers, outlet covers, an outside faucet that was dripping. I can't remember. I mean, the trim around they had to take the trim off for the laundry room door to get, you know, these new stackables and front loads are taking up so much more space. Now, guys, these all seem like no big deal, but the single mom, it was a big deal. Yeah. She could not do any of that. She didn't have the time, the money, or the inkling to do it. And Joy, being the repair whisperer, went and found two handyman contractors to basically give bids for all of those things, and then made it a part of the contract. So what happened is the week or two before closing, the contractors went out, took care of all of the items, and got paid at closing. The seller was beyond thrilled, and the buyer was so happy, and the appraiser, chef's kiss, said all good and signed off.
Yeah, that was great. And it was just little, you know, deferred maintenance, like we like to call it. Just little things that do add up when you're the seller. And if you don't have the, you know, $800 or whatever until you close to pay for those repairs, then we have some ways around it.
Ways around it. I like the way you said that. And that's probably one of the number one things that happens, is that the public will contact us and say, hey, who do you have to X, Y, and Z? Now, here's the thing, guys, and this is where our value comes in. We love to tell you to contact Tahlequah Lumber. Why? Because we love those guys. They're freaking amazing. And then sometimes the public will contact us back and say, hey, they're really, really busy, or this is more of a specialty item. Who do you have? Here's the thing. We do kind of reserve and hold back. Why? Because if we gave you everything up front, then you really don't need us. If you're calling us, it's because you need us, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the time the handymen are so busy with the stuff that we're giving them that they might not call you if you call them directly. Like, there's going to have to be some communication maybe with us.
Well, and we become their trusted referral system because they know that we're going to make sure that the deal gets to closing and they get paid. Whereas if a random individual contacts them, it may not be a good personality fit, or they may have to really struggle to get paid.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a security system, I think, for them, kind of, when we're helping a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then kind of going back to that 15 item checklist, I know a lot of you are thinking, none of those things are a big deal, but here's what happens. When a realtor walks through with their buyer, the number one thing we're thinking is, will this home go FHA? Will it go VA? And will it pass for RD, or rural development? Because that is 80% of our buyers under the 250 mark.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if the home will not meet one of those standards, guys, then you've just wiped out 80% of the buyers. So what I've been so impressed with, and MAP, Cherokee Nation Mortgage Assistance Program. Chill the camera. I've said it 1,000 times to the point that even Jill knows, and I went blank. I don't know what was going on there. Okay, mortgage assistance program. All of these are why Tahlequah is so popular as far as being able to purchase, because we have these wonderful programs that are not necessarily available everywhere else. But if you identify a home and say, no, it will not go one of those programs,
Yeah.
you've wiped out 80% of the buyers. And Joy has been able to take a few of those homes and make them where they could be considered. Now, we're not talking about, major foundation problems or there's an active roof leak or anything like that. But we have had bad roofs that needed to be replaced. And again, Joy was able to negotiate that in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. And it's not ever as expensive as people think it's going to be sometimes too.
why does everyone with every roof, people start with $12,000?
No, every single roof. It's
$12,000.
$20,000.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that's a really expensive roof.
That's
Like,
a huge, ginormous roof.
Yeah.
So we're talking the under 250 mark most of the time.
Yeah.
So typically those homes are anywhere from 1,000 square feet to 1,400 square feet.
Yeah.
So we are not in that price point unless it's some kind of really weird roof line or
and
something.
I don't think that I'm trying to think back on like my most expensive repair, undertaking to make it qualify for FHA or whatever, I think was like $2,000. Like it's literally small little piddly things that don't cost that much money to repair. So.
Right. But they can be really overwhelming. And unfortunately, a lot of times, and this is not knocking a seller, but a lot of times what you see is, like you said, deferred maintenance. I love that term because that can be everything. And unfortunately, it's all usually tied together. The lawn has not been mowed or maintained, right? The grass is super high. The shrubs are overgrown. The shutters have kind of cockeyed and fallen off. These are things that the average buyer is not able to see beyond. The lender would not be willing to see beyond, and the appraiser is going to call out. And then you add all of the other things that we've already mentioned. So to have someone like Joy who has the vision of going, you know what, this is about $2,000 worth of work and possibly 3 to 4 days of getting the right contractor in there and being able to have it all come together so that the buyer is thrilled. Because guys, when you are in a low inventory situation, it is really imperative that you are creative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think that most buyers, especially now with the prices and the interest rate as high as they are, they're willing to pay those prices, but they do have a little bit higher expectations as far as just being able to move in. And if there's, loose outlets or wood rot and chipped paint, like you can't just move in. You're moving into a bunch of projects. So they kind of just want to move in and be done with it, not necessarily have to pay for all of that. So it's like, just get it done. Preferably before you list it, that would be great. But if not, we can help you with the workaround.
I love that. I love that. And then what are some good just check marks to make sure that you're, if there's another realtor out there thinking about doing this in another market, or a seller or buyer in another market, what are some good standards to stay within to protect themselves?
So I always try to work outside in. So I'm looking at any wood rot, chipped paint outside, windowsills, if there's any, wood rot or chipped paint on windowsills.
I forgot to mention chip paint. That's so good.
Yeah, just scrape it off, fix it, guys. Threshold on doors and in between bedrooms and rooms. So that's something that is a really kind of easy fix that we see. Loose receptacles. That is something that literally, it drives me crazy because but it will get called out on an appraisal, and then you have to pay for the appraiser to come back to make sure that was done.
That's a very valid point.
Yeah. So it's like, just tighten it. Like when you get ready to list, what else? Little things like the GFCI outlets that won't trip anymore. And that's like I think they're $15 at Lowe's to replace the actual part that trips. So I did it one time. I did it one
You
time.
can Google it.
Yes,
You can Google it.
You
Yes.
can. What else?
And I think the way I always try to approach it is, what is the appraiser going to call out?
Yes, yeah.
Security, does the deadbolt lock? Does the screen door pull to? Like, is the storm door all jacked up? And on that one, we actually got rid of the storm door because it was not fixable, and the bid came in at like $450. So it was going to break the budget.
Yeah.
The buyer was like, I don't need a storm door. The seller said, I can't fix the storm door. And we actually had the contractor haul off the storm door. So security, is it secure? Can you secure the home? Safety, safety is the tripping, like the thresholds, a handrail if it's more than 18 inches off the ground or around the deck.
Glass, so any windows that automatically
Guys,
will get pulled out.
If you have a broken window, just get ready.
Yeah,
Yes.
And don't have to replace the whole window.
Very valid point. People always think you have to replace the entire window. You don't. Replacing the glass, and we have a phenomenal window guy here, or glass guy, I guess, because we typically, and he agrees to get paid at closing, and we love that.
Yeah, very helpful.
So let's see, safety, security, safety, sanitation. Sanitation.
Yep, sanitation. So the plumbing work, the toilet, can you flush it?
Yeah, they're going to actually turn on the water and make sure that you get hot water.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to be able to get hot water. And some of the things that come in on that, tripping hazards like we were talking about, but when you have the torn linoleum or the carpet where the cat or the dog is went, if it's on the threshold, she will have the contractor put just a wider threshold and cover that. So I love that. And then the family that's moving in can shampoo the carpet, and then they are safe and secure and sanitary. And then on the torn vinyl or torn linoleum, you guys did a stick-on tile, which I thought was genius. The buyer had plans later to go in and do an install, of something that his father-in-law could help him with, but we needed it to get through the appraisal, and the pill and stick.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, it looked good. It made it secure and sanitary, and the kids could play on it.
Yeah, and it was easy, and they could cut it to get it to fit, and so it was perfect.
Yeah, and it's very inexpensive to do that. So, so we understand that this is not for every home or for every property, but if you are a buyer that's struggling and you're having trouble finding homes that are not quite meeting the minimum standards, kind of think outside the box. Find yourself a Joy, a repair whisperer, or better yet, just call Joy. That's a good way to do it. And let her help you through the process, because guys, it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's not just here's the repairs, we're done. Like, I'm going to go back and make sure they're done.
Oh, that's
like, I'm going to have the
good procedure
and the pictures, and because you can't just say, oh yeah, it was done, and then move in. Like, you want to make sure it's done. So
okay. And that's really what we need to end on, guys. Now you or the seller has hired the contractor, the handyman. You have the list. It's very, very clear. Do not be vague. You've got to be super, super clear. And then go back and check those items. If it's something in the attic, ask the person who made the repair, like it's an open junction box. That is a $2 fix, believe it or not. They just put a lid on it. But ask for them to send you a copy or send you a photo. Ask for the receipts, all of the things. I love that. I think that is kind of best procedure when you're dealing with something like this. So
once you close on the house, it's yours. And if there's repairs to be made still, it's on you.
Yes. So make sure that somebody checks those.
Absolutely,
so yes.
Sure.
Well, Joy, the repair whisperer, thank you so much for joining us today. I am, again, I just can't tell you how thrilled I am with how many young first-time buyer families you've been able to help over this past year. And I feel like at least once a month I'm saying, I cannot believe you got that deal together. And I love it because, guys, inventory in our market under the 200 mark is really, really tight.
Yeah.
And for that buyer to identify, look, this is the location that I really need to be in. This is the size of home I need, but the home is not meeting the minimum standards for the lender. And at the end of the day, there's a really great chance that Joy can get it to that by putting you with the right people.
Definitely.
So, yay, Joy. Okay, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please don't forget to like, follow, and share. If there's a topic that you would like for us to discuss, please reach out. Or if there's someone that you would like for us to have on as a guest, please let us know. Thanks for watching.